Well, there's relief after Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize told the PortfolioCommittee on Health that South Africa will receive 1 million doses of the coronavirus vaccine this month. Mkhize said another 500,000 doses will follow in February. Let's find out more. We're joined now by the Parliamentary Committee's chairperson. This is of the chairperson of the Health Committee, and that is Dr. Sibongiseni Dhlomo. Good evening, Dr. Dhlomo, and thank you so much for your time tonight. Firstly, there's been a lot of angst in the country around this vaccine, the processes that need to be followed in order to have it available to South Africa. Do you think that the situation is being handled in the best way possible right now? Has the government done its best here?
Thank you very much, Kathy, and good evening to your viewers. We're very happy that today we got a minister to come and do a briefing to us. We have actually been planning this meeting over 2 weeks, and there were certain issues that actually blocked the meeting. But today, yes, it was very heartwarming to hear what the minister said, because previously we got an information that we might be getting a rollout of this vaccine in the second quarter of the year. But when he came in today and he said 1 million vaccine doses will be coming in from the Serum Institute of India in this month, and in February another 500,000 will then be dispatched. That was very important and good for us, and I'm sure it should be welcomed, because there are a lot of our healthcare workers, a lot of frontline workers, teachers, police will then be able to access this quickly. As to how far then we can go, because we are waiting for other companies to also come on board in support from the briefing of the minister, in support of the plan to actually get it as many as possible in the quickest time possible ever.
There is a general sentiment that the South African government has been trying to find alternative ways of procuring the vaccine after being put under pressure by other MPs, political parties, and even ordinary South Africans, and that they were quite lax in the initial phases of trying to procure a vaccine and when exactly it would be available. In November, we still had the minister talking about the second quarter of the year, when we're likely to see the first traces or the first batches of a vaccine arrive in the country.
Ma'am, we're not the manufacturers in South Africa of this vaccine. We depend on conglomerates and other big companies. You'll probably recall that even during the time we were battling and fighting for the PPE, those who were actually having the big dollar were able to dictate into the world that they would not run short of this, and those who were actually not having as a big monies would then be at the end of the queue. But we did not get that impression today. We actually found a situation that was actually very making us very happy that yes, 2-3 weeks ago we were under the impression that we might just be getting it too late in the year, but today, because it's a work in progress, and what he told us, that there are many other sort of role players they are engaged with in terms of this matter, there will be an improvement on a daily basis. Just to know that there's 1 million doses coming in this month is actually heartwarming. As to other further progress that will give us more vaccine doses during the first quarter of this year is actually welcome. So I don't think so. It was a work in progress, and they were not able to actually give us all the information 2-3 weeks ago, because this was a work in progress. But today's update was welcomed, and we said, Minister, every fortnight we would like to engage with you, because this is a moving target which is rolling quite fast. We also need to we are public representatives, that we need to also communicate this information to our people where we are as members of the Portfolio Committee.
Of course, when it comes to the issue of cost and the positioning of South Africa, when we look at what Pfizer and BioNTech, the kind of prices that they're offering us in terms of their vaccine, they describe South Africa, or have categorized South Africa, as a middle-income country. And in fact, there are those who are now saying that South Africa, being part of the COVAX group, may not necessarily have been the right thing, because South Africa effectively has more money than some of the countries that are in that group, and that we should have been able to do more?
And those countries with no money should not have it at all. In fact, this is a trend in the world. That is why a lot of us are actually calling for the national health insurance, that a service like this, a commodity like a health, like a vaccine, should not be available to those who command and have the monies, and those who are, whether you are South African or a Zimbabwean or a Ugandan, you should not be put at the end of the tail because you don't have money. So I don't even want to entertain what I am not also, I have that part of me to say, yes, South Africa benefits, but what about the rest of Africa? We should be mindful that this commodity is a public good. It should not be made available to those who command. Yes, those who have got medical aid might access it faster and better, but the issue of money should even not come into the equation when we are considering people in the world who must access a life-saving vaccine.
Did the minister give you assurances that when it came to money, there would be no difficulties for the country in procuring these vaccines? Because what we've seen, even with the COVAX agreement, is that there has been a staggering and even a delay of payments just being part of that group on its own.
Yeah, no, that is why, among other things, the Portfolio Committee felt it was wise that as a Portfolio Committee, we must engage with the Minister of Finance, Mr. Tito Mboweni, and we will be writing to him requesting a meeting because, yes, Dr. Zweli Mkhize can actually be allocated this much. For us, we will actually be checking whether there will be that money coming in or it can be more. But in the wisdom of the Portfolio Committee, we actually said the briefing from the minister is we are happy with, and we also want to check with the Minister of Finance, and we'll be inviting him to come and brief us as a Portfolio Committee, the security of monies and finances going forward, because yes, but that is not the only source that we are going to need money from. Myself, you, and also many other people must actually be making those philanthropic donations into the process. But of course, the core funding will be government and looking into other sources also to make sure we are able to access the vaccine as the country, as the world.
So if I understand you correctly, you're going to be calling the finance minister before you to actually give you an assurance that Treasury is going to make that money available and make it available, I suppose, immediately, so that South Africa is able to procure these vaccines, because there seems to be an issue of paying first and then getting the vaccine.
Yeah, as a Portfolio Committee, we raised that matter and said, look, we are making you aware, Minister. You are a Minister of Health, and we are happy with your plan. And but we also independently would like to engage with the Minister of Finance on this matter, so that this assurance is also given by him. That was actually a strong point that came from the members. We would want to do that so that, because you know, the members of Parliament have requested a debate on this matter, and before, and among other things, people will be running that debate will be largely from the same Portfolio Committee. So the more we get information, the more we get assurance about this, that, and the other, the better for that debate to be informed greatly. So among other things, of getting to meet the Minister of Health, Minister of Finance, and any other government leader who can brief us about the government's plan in procuring and securing these vaccines, the better for us to inform Parliament when we're actually in a debate.
Are MPs worried? Is your committee worried that government might not release that money in time?
I did not get that sense. I am not worried. We would be engaging the minister just to get an assurance, not that because we were sensing that we might not get the funding for the COVID vaccine. We did not have that in our mind. I don't know about any other members, but the reason to see and meet with the Minister of Finance was not because we don't believe that this plan will be rolled out, but just to get that assurance that yes, this will be supported and be funded, probably even more if there's a possibility of doing that.
The Chairperson of Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Health, Dr. Sibongiseni Dhlomo, thank you so much for your time on News at Prime tonight.